Hey, 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 it's the girl Leilani Ray, and I'm here today that actually rhymed with Brandy Durham. Oh my gosh. She has joined us on the Your Favorite Mom Friends podcast. And I gotta tell you, I am so excited to have her on. She is here to discuss what it's like to raise her son as a single mother. And she has done it all. And I gotta tell you, you guys might laugh, but she has got a professional career as long as any rap sheet you can find out there. This is terrible, and I'm gonna try and remember it all. Okay, Brandy started out. She got her degree, her bachelor's degree at Florida State University in international affairs, music, and I might be missing one. Music and what was it? Brandy, gotta help me out a little bit.
Oh, yeah. So it's music. I started as a music student and
Okay.
then went to international affairs with an emphasis in political science and Spanish,
Oh my goodness. And Spanish. Okay?
doing the
That's
most.
like the icing on the cake. Because she's just that good.
Oh,
Right? And then she went to law school. This is all while having her son, right?
mhm.
She worked at an attorney general's office, the House of Representatives in Florida. She worked for the Florida Department of Business and Professional Regulations. She worked for the Florida Department of Health. She has her own business. What is it? Brandy Durham Legal
Durham
Services.
Legal Services. Yep.
Durham Legal Services. And she is on top of all that. And I know I missed some stuff. She also is an actor, okay? And she's a singer, and she does this on a regular in her local theater, right? And
Mhm.
let's not forget the most important of all. She is a mom, a single mom to her 9-year-old son who has he's been diagnosed, correct me if I'm wrong, with ADHD
Mhm.
and was it high functioning autism disorder,
Yep.
right?
Mhm.
Spectrum disorder. So you guys, that was a mouthful, but it is my honest and humble pleasure, if that's the right string of words there, to have Brandy on YFMF. Welcome, Brandy. How are you?
Thank you. I'm doing wonderful. It's so great to be here. I'm so proud of you. And I know I told you
Oh,
before we got started, but I need to say it on the record. On the record. I am
on the
so
record.
proud of this
Thank you.
woman.
Thank you.
I love you. You are so
Oh, I
beautiful.
love you
Always have
too. Thank
been. And
you.
so when
Oh,
you reached out, I was like, oh, yeah, I'm doing it. Yeah,
oh my
absolutely.
gosh.
Whatever you need, whatever you want.
Oh,
Hey,
woo. But that
that's a big
speaks to
feat.
you, though. It speaks to your character. And I know I'm jumping ahead. Usually on this podcast, I try to open up with some fun questions, which I'm going to get to, right?
Mhm.
But I'm just in awe of your history, Brandy, and everything that you have done. For those of you who don't know, Brandy and I, we actually met as interns. We worked for Representative Thompson at the time. We interned for her at the Florida House of Representatives, and I was in college as well. And when I met Brandy, I was like, "Yep, she's it. She's as sharp as nails." And I'm gonna
Ah,
go ahead and take this back seat, okay? And Brandy's gonna go ahead and drive because Brandy was just so smart. No, it was like irrefutable how
ah.
smart you were, and we were all in awe, including Landra. Landra was the
We love you,
legislative aide at
Landra.
the time. Landra,
We love you, Landra.
she was just like, listen, Brandy's got to take charge because she's just so organized. She's just so well thought out. And it does, I talk so much about it, but seriously, I am truly in awe of you. You're so inspiring. And man, single moms, you got to reach out to her because if you have questions about anything to do with how to do it, how to balance it all, she knows how to do it. If you haven't heard her background, okay?
I love
So,
it.
oh my gosh, Brandy, let's jump into some fun questions. I'm going to
Let's
try and
do
be
it.
a little spontaneous here. Some of the questions might be a little bit recycled, but let's see what we got. I'm going to get better at these fun questions, I swear. I promise. Um, all right. So, let's see, what do we have? I actually really like this one, so I'm going to open it back up with this question again. Don't worry, it's not the 3, 2, 1, three places. No. This one is if you had to banish yourself somewhere for the rest of your life, where would it be?
Oh boy, to be banished. It would have to be Italy somewhere.
Ooh, I love it. Oh yeah.
Somewhere in Italy, Siena,
Oh my
Venice.
gosh. Oh, yes. You are speaking my language right now.
Yes,
I love
yes.
to travel and man, Italy is beautiful.
I know.
Oh.
I lived there in 2009.
What? Oh, here we go. Added another one. Check. You lived in Italy?
Before I met you, I at the end of college, I wanted to study abroad. I was done with
Oh,
school at Florida State, but I was like, well, if I graduate in August, if I can study abroad this summer. So I
yeah.
did 6 weeks in Italy, and then I didn't want to
Wow.
leave. And so I
Wow.
told the program director, I don't want to leave. She
Yeah.
said, well, we have a position opening up. You could be a program assistant. I said, oh, yay.
The best of both worlds.
I
Wow.
know. So then I stayed and I worked as a RA and program assistant in
Did you?
Florence. And
Florence is
that's just my
gorgeous.
favorite country. That's my favorite. I just love Italy. My body coming back to America after that was so hard. We
Yeah.
are really hard on our bodies over here, food wise,
Yes.
nutrition wise. It was
Yes.
bad. It was hard. But
Yes.
that was just, oh gosh, it's so
How long? Sorry, how
peaceful.
long did I miss what you said? How long did you spend in Italy?
Um, 3.5 months.
Wow, that's a
Yeah.
long time. That's a culture shock.
I wasn't going to come back, but I knew I knew I had to go to law school because I was looking at law schools in Italy. Like I
Right?
was like, maybe I should
Wow.
just stay in Europe. I was serious. I did not want to come back. But
Wow.
yeah, I
Yeah,
decided to
life
come
kind of
back so I could go to
happens,
law school.
you kind of get pulled out of that world. It's so beautiful. Europe is just beautiful in general. But
Exactly.
man, Italy was just throw, especially Florence. Oh my gosh. Like
It's so
amazing.
God, the culture. It's just everything.
Yeah. Did you learn
Yeah.
any Italian?
Oh yeah, because I speak Spanish. So
Fluently.
yes.
Oh my God. Okay, all right. We about to just end this episode right here. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. All right. So I'm gonna have to test you and put you on the spot. All right.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. Say it's so nice to meet you in Italian. And let's go soft first.
Oh, in Italian.
In
Oh God,
Italian.
now that was a long time ago.
Oh, okay. Say
Yeah,
something, anything in Italian.
in Italian. Okay. Io sono Brandy. Come stai?
Ooh, I just got the chills straight through to the fingertips. What? What was that?
I just said my name is Brandy. How are you?
Wow. With the accent, y'all. That's amazing. All right. Well, the Spanish, see now, the Spanish, my husband is Colombian, so this is going to be
Yes,
wholly
that's right.
embarrassing. I am not fluent in Spanish. I'm not fluent in Spanish. I do understand a lot more than I can speak, and my
Wonderful.
Spanish is broken. It's broken.
Girl, we don't even speak our English isn't together
Yeah,
most days.
it's not it's certainly not for me. Like if I'm fluent in Spanish, I need to be able to stand at a podium and give a speech and sound eloquent where people can respect me and not start smiling. I hate that when I start speaking Spanish. Like, oh, you're so cute. Let us. No, I want them to be like, oh, okay, all right, speak Spanish. I see you. Wow. So you gotta say something. You gotta say something so we can hear the Spanish.
The Spanish too?
Yeah, the
Oh
Spanish.
gosh.
Anything. I'll try to keep up with you.
Really? Okay. Okay, Leilani, hola, ¿cómo estás?
Hola, ¿cómo estás? I am okay. I'm so nervous.
¿Está bien?
Bien,
Pásate un
bien.
buen
¿Y
día hoy.
usted?
Esto es usted,
¿Y
soy tú.
usted?
No
¿Y tú?
usted
Okay.
para mí.
¿Y tú? ¿Y
Soy
tú?
una amiga de ti.
¿Y tú? Sí, colombianos, colombianas, whatever, preferando usted. So Okay. All right, y'all. I'm making a fool out of myself.
I'm proud of you. Estoy muy orgullosa de ti. I am very proud of you.
Oh, listen, Brandy.
Keep trying. Keep trying. Keep practicing. Have you been to Colombia?
This is my husband. I'm gonna get him when he gets home.
Yep.
It's time. It's time. Oh my gosh.
It is time.
I'm having too much. We haven't even gotten to the second question.
Oh my God, that's right. And we're still talking about the world.
This is so
world.
I need to go to Colombia. Yes, we have Colombia. To go. I've been to some other like Hispanic countries, but not Colombia. It's got to happen.
Yeah.
We are in talks about a trip now. I don't know when that's going to be, but I'm hoping within the next year. I don't think it's happening before the end of the year. Within the next year, we'll have it ready.
Good. That's exciting. I'm looking forward to seeing the pictures.
Yes, the proof. The proof. Oh, yeah. All right. Okay, if human beings were born with an item, which one would yours be?
If what? Say it again.
This is such a weird question. If human beings were born with an item, what would your item be?
Whoa.
Yeah.
A microphone.
Oh my gosh. You want to be heard. Is that what you're saying, Brandy?
Whew, boy, that might be deep. Might be deeper than I realized.
Yeah.
I don't even know if I want to be heard as much as heard by others. Well, maybe.
Yeah. No, that's real.
That is interesting, but that's the first thing that came to mind.
Wow.
Microphone. Ooh. I don't know. I just feel like I've always my whole life been on the stage.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
That's incredible. That's a lot deeper than I thought that was going to be. But
yeah, goodness. Right. Yeah. Wow. I'm gonna have to talk to my therapist about that one. Why was this my first?
what was your first? Yeah. Listen, no judgment. We are in the no judgment zone.
Good.
So, yes. Okay. Let me see. I haven't asked this one. If you could permanently delete any invention from history, what would it be?
Ooh.
That's a tough one.
Any invention. Wow. Machine guns.
Oh man. Ooh, you are giving me the chills. Why are all your answers giving me the chills right now?
You know, that's those things. And I am a proponent of firearms. I love guns. I love shooting guns. You know, I don't believe in not having guns, but to see where we've gone in this country, with so much love for such strong guns, for them to be so easily at our fingertips, just disposable to so many people who shouldn't have them, and to see the destruction that they cause unnecessarily. It's just, I think Key and Peele may have done a skit about it, where somebody went back in time, and while the framers were writing the Constitution, and they were on the Second Amendment, and so the person, whoever went back in time, you know, they I don't know if they killed everybody, you know, that sounds horrible, but that was the skit. It was supposed to be funny, and basically to make them not write the Second Amendment. But one of them lived, and they saw the powerful tool that he used to kill everybody, was like, we gotta have this, you know. So then in the future, like, the guns were just out of this world. But that just resonates with me, just to see how too much destruction for no reason. Yeah. They're not used for their intended purposes at this point. It's just, we could do without it.
Man, you're so deep. You have so many layers to you, and it makes sense. I mean, you've walked quite a journey to get to where you are now. And that's why your answers are so layered when you respond. It's like, it's not just surface. And it really, this episode, for you moms out there, is a little bit more of a serious episode. And, you know, we like to have fun on this podcast, but we also do like to address issues that, you know, moms have to kind of deal with on a more serious level. And so that's why, you know, I could not think of a more perfect person, honestly, to address the issue of navigating through single motherhood. And just with her response alone, it's so layered. There's so many things that I could unpack from just with her response, but we'll just pivot straight into the reason for the podcast today, which is Brandy being an amazing mom and handling that by herself. So, Brandy, I've said this so many times since the podcast is opened, and we'll just start there. You are incredibly accomplished, and our viewers, our moms, can see that just from the beginning and hearing everything that you've done. I didn't even know that you lived in Italy. Maybe I missed that somewhere. I mean, you have done so much. And what is that? What is the utmost factor? What is that primal or primary factor that keeps you going, keeps you motivated through everything you've been through?
For me, just the pursuit of happiness. You know, before I became a parent, I would just I did things that I wanted to do because I liked them, because they brought me happiness and joy. And after becoming a parent, but while navigating parenthood and, you know, everything becoming about this one person, me learning how much of me I was giving to him and losing of myself, I've had to, you know, go back and remember you are a person as well. And what you do in this life, you know, I only get one life. We only have this life. And so my happiness is important just as much as his, because he deserves a happy mom. He deserves, you know, someone who's not burdened by, well, not, you know, living in a burden of sadness and depression and all of that. And so my greatest motivator is joy, happiness.
Wow. I'm gonna have to get some tissues or something. I mean, it's the realest answer you could possibly give. You know, so many moms, we kind of, we put obviously it's just a natural thing to do as a mom, right? To kind of put your kid first. Absolutely. In everything. Like your happiness comes second. And so it is important for you to find your happiness within yourself, and not in anyone else. Even if it's your kid that's like, oh my gosh, when I see my child, it makes me so happy. But that's where it is. You have to find it in you first. And to do that, you know, sometimes you do need to go after those things that you feel would enrich your life. So wow, that's an incredible, it's so insightful, your answer. I'm trying not to tear up. I'm also looking for my charger.
We'll see.
Hope. Yeah. This struggle. Life before your son. Right? Aside from everything that you've accomplished, did you see your life going in a different direction before you had your son?
100%.
Wow.
Absolutely. I did not want to. I've always wanted kids, but I did not plan on having a child. It was complete surprise. Well, kind of, because you know what you got to do to make a child.
Yeah, but you know, you get caught off guard sometimes.
But I was, definitely caught off guard. I had a whole big old plan, a whole spread. You know, being a Christian and growing up in, you know, spiritually sound, they always say if you want to make God laugh, show him your plans. And I took my little plan book to the Lord, and I was like, this is what we're gonna do. And the Lord was like, no,
That's
no,
not
we're
that's
not.
not what we're doing. Yeah.
No, you got some lessons to learn. You got some growing to do in some other places in your life. So this is what we're gonna do. You're gonna follow my plan, Brandy. And I appreciate his plan much more than I could have ever done to myself for myself.
Yeah.
Because I just was focused straight career.
Mhm.
I was all about the law. You know, I grew
Mm.
up on stage. I grew up singing, acting.
Mhm.
I was a dancer.
Mhm.
Um, you know, I grew up in the arts and I fell in
Mm.
love with the law. And
Mhm.
I was like, oh, I'm gonna be, you know, and then you got family, you got people I had outside influences like you're gonna be a great
Mhm.
attorney. This, you know, attorney this,
Yeah.
attorney that, attorney that. So I'm
Yeah.
like, yeah, that's gonna be me, attorney.
Yeah.
And I kind of lost some of me in pursuing this strictly this one route that, you know,
Yeah.
people, the world saw
Mhm.
best fit me
Mhm.
outside of the arts. Because, you
Mhm.
know, coming from the South, I'm from South Carolina.
Mhm.
It's like when people don't understand things, you know,
Mhm. Mhm.
they don't understand it, they don't get it. It's like, this
Mhm.
is the safest route because this is
Oh
what we
yeah.
know works, you know?
Yeah.
And you can't fault anybody
Mhm.
at all. And that's another
That's
journey I
what
had to
they
go through.
know.
That's what they know.
Yeah.
Yep. And I just thank God for wisdom and growth and being able to understand that later in life. I'm still young though.
Still young.
But right, I'll take
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I definitely had a certain plan that did not involve becoming a parent for at least another 10 years. I had my son at 25 and
Oh.
I thought I was gonna be 35. Well, I
Yeah.
told myself I was gonna start trying to
That was
have
the
kids at
plan.
35. I'll be
It did.
35 in March. And I'm like,
Yeah.
thank God I had this
Oh my
child at
gosh.
25.
Yeah, yeah. Because as you get older, and they're young, they have a lot of energy,
Yes.
it's like you're trying to keep up. It's hard when you get
Yeah.
older. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Wow. My goodness. You unpacked a lot there. With your life going in that completely different direction. And even with, gosh, we have such a similar background. It's insane how similar our backgrounds are because I was also in the arts,
mhm.
heavy growing up, like the whole singing, dancing, acting, theater, all that, the church plays, all of it,
Yeah.
music. And I, for a while, I could see myself going in that direction. And
Mhm.
then I always loved law, but it was like I was torn between the two
Mm.
because I have passion. It's like I didn't know which one. Like, and then of course I kind of fell into, I was in the political
Mhm.
um, arena, if you will, and I kind of found myself going on that track. And I was like, but wait, I really want. Because in this world, you're this or you're this.
Right.
You're boxed in, and like, no, I
Right.
want to be both.
Yeah.
So why can't I make both worlds work?
Exactly.
So just listening to you talk, it's just like, oh my gosh, she's literally echoing the same sentiments that I've had in like the last couple of years, and like,
mhm.
this kind of reinvention of not what your typical lawyer or person who has like a professional career looks like.
Mhm.
I'm so sorry.
No, you're
Ooh, I'm
fine.
trying to get over this thing. Mm,
Take your
it's
time.
yeah, no, it's thank you. It's so interesting hearing that recap from you because
Yes.
I know I go through it too. The same thing. So
Yeah. I think a lot of people do.
yeah, yeah. All right. So where are we? Uh what would you say was the biggest change for you once you had your son? Because I'm sure a lot changed at that point.
Well, I was actually in that relationship.
Hmm.
That relationship was the thing that changed me the most because it was very verbally and mentally abusive and physical at some times. So being in that relationship with his father, um, knowing it was pretty early on. Like once I got pregnant, um, True Colors came out. And then it was like, ooh, who are you? You know,
Mm-hmm.
oh, you're acting like this now that I'm. Why wouldn't you act like this before I got pregnant? You know,
Yeah,
it's like at least
yeah,
it occurred before.
yeah.
You know, so I immediately. I always had an open door policy. If this isn't what you want, leave. I'm okay with it. So from the moment very early on in my pregnancy, I
Mm-hmm.
had the mindset that I would eventually be a single mother
Yeah.
because of how things had started working and things were changing and going on in my life. So it was a pretty dark time for me,
Mm-hmm.
but I had a beautiful pregnancy. And
Yeah.
Donovan was like perfect in the womb.
Oh.
And I always say I think he must have known what I was dealing with outside of the womb because he just, you know, he was so good. It was such a good pregnancy. I had such great friends around me. And once I was able to get rid of the shame and embarrassment and tell people what was going on with me,
Mm-hmm.
everybody was so supportive.
Yeah.
My church members, they were so supportive. Everybody, they helped me get out of that, physically remove me from my old house to, breaking that lease. Everybody was just so helpful. So early on, I had it in my mind that I'm probably gonna be a single mom.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm probably gonna have to be a super protective woman
Mm-hmm.
to protect myself um, throughout the pregnancy. I just started changing. I just had this mindset where I need to make sure I have everything. Even Landra, like I told Landra, we went out to dinner, and
Yeah.
I broke it to her. It was so embarrassing for me, but now dealing with
No.
domestic violence, try to show girl, don't be embarrassed because you didn't do anything wrong. I didn't do anything
Right.
wrong.
Right.
But yeah, I knew early on, so I had become more of a uh I don't even know the words that I need. I just started to look at things differently.
Mm-hmm.
To I just when you met me, very bubbly. I'm from the South. I'm from
Yes.
the country at that.
The country. Yeah.
We growing up where we slept with our doors open. Like
Yeah.
I come from this place where complete carefree. My parents weren't abusive. I
Mm-hmm.
never witnessed that. I didn't experience anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
And my relationship before that was a beautiful relationship. It wasn't, I didn't
Yeah.
experience. So I didn't realize that I was even with a toxic person until, it all hit the fan after I got pregnant.
Mm-hmm.
So then I started realizing, okay, Brandy, there's this naivete that you've grown up with, and I always want to see the best in people, but I had to switch it because I'm like, everybody's not good or good for you.
Yeah.
And so then I started looking at life and looking at people, with a different kind of viewpoint, like, who are you to me?
Mm-hmm.
Um, what is your goal here? Just trying to be more protective for myself and my feelings. And now this child that I have on the way. So
Mm-hmm.
that's really the biggest thing that changed. And then of course, we had our life together, me and the kiddo, and then I started learning, things were changing with him, and I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
oh Lord have mercy, what is going on? And
Yeah.
trying to figure out navigate that space, but mainly just getting myself ready to be the number one protector of my home
Of course. Of
was the biggest thing that
course.
changed.
Yeah. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
mentally, I worked in the domestic violence unit when I was at the state attorney's office, and
Mm-hmm.
I spoke with a lot of different victims involved in that situation, and I cannot imagine mentally what that change was like for you. Feel like, because when you're pregnant, you almost feel vulnerable.
Mm-hmm.
You feel like, the people around you. You're I know I had a tough pregnancy, and I
Mm-hmm.
had people to help and support me, right? And my husband, he supported me, and
Right.
he was there for me. So to go through that mentally, and to experience knowing that, wait, I'm not as safe as I
Right.
thought I was, you know? I
Mm-hmm.
cannot imagine. I can only empathize with you what that was like.
Yeah.
Yeah, that had to
Yeah.
have been really tough for you to make it.
Yeah. It was. It definitely was. And but I just was able to, it taught me how to remain calm. I've never been
Mm.
one to spaz out in situations anyway, or not spaz. I know people don't like
Yeah,
that
that's
term
a.
anymore. I don't know what to
I
say,
catch myself
but
slipping sometimes. I'm like,
I
oh.
know. Sorry, you guys, if I offended
It's
anybody.
okay.
But I've never been one to freak out, rather
Mm-hmm.
go crazy. I've always been able to kind of remain calm and assess
Mm-hmm.
situations when something big is going on. So I know I was
Mm-hmm.
just able to do that, and
Mm-hmm.
I learned triggers.
Yeah.
How to stay away from triggers if
Mm-hmm.
drinking was involved,
Mm-hmm.
steering clear,
Yeah.
not sometimes it worked, sometimes it didn't. But knowing, just learning my surroundings and
Mm-hmm.
biding my time because I knew I was gonna get out.
Yeah.
That was never a second. I knew I was like, yeah, as soon as I have this child and I figure this thing out.
You gotta get out. You gotta get
Yep,
out.
gotta go.
Yeah. You are so strong, Brandy. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I'm at a loss for words. No, you really are such a strong woman. And what you went through, I don't mean to harp on it, but I'm truly just humbled by it. And
Yeah.
it's a tough situation, and a lot of moms can relate because well, I shouldn't say a lot of moms, but there are moms out there that go through this
Mm-hmm.
and suffer in silence.
Yeah.
And so seeing you speak about this on a more public platform
Mm-hmm.
is it's really commendable because it's that subject is also kind of like taboo where women are there's like this
Yeah.
shame that's you know
Big time.
that surrounds that subject and I mean I can't be one to judge because you're not in the situation, but I feel like shame shouldn't stop you. Like you shouldn't be ashamed because you, like you said, did not do anything wrong.
Yeah.
You're not, you're not to blame yourself
Mm-hmm.
for that person's actions.
Right.
Right. So
Mm-hmm.
thank you so much for sharing that.
You're welcome.
I know that that had to have done something for some moms here today.
Oh
So I
yeah.
appreciate it.
Oh yeah. It's been a very near and dear to me. Domestic violence,
Mm-hmm.
um, awareness and assistance since my situation, since I've been able to get out.
Mm-hmm.
Some people's situation just pale in comparison to or mine pale in comparison to what other people have been through. So, but yeah,
But it's
it's
not to be
definitely
discounted.
no, but it's not to be discounted.
Yeah.
Yeah, not
Yeah.
never
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
it's not anything anybody should
But
get
you're
used to. Hmm.
sorry to interrupt. I was gonna say you're helping other moms now. Are you working on something to help other moms, you said?
Yeah, so especially before COVID kind of messed everything up, but
Yeah.
definitely very active in the community
Okay.
with domestic violence. Yeah,
Wow.
awareness
Wow.
and assistance. Yeah.
So for
So I'm about to get
those,
back into that. I'm getting back into now that
yeah.
we're back in the streets.
Yeah, we're getting back out there. So for those who are going through something, I mean,
Hmm.
Brandy couldn't be a better resource. And she is a YFMF mom, your favorite mom friend's mom. She's on the Facebook group. You can
Hmm.
find her there. And I'm sure at the end of this podcast, she'll also say some of the places that you can find her. Oh my gosh, I'm stuttering over my words today. Uh, but she'll have some of the places that you can find her. But if you join the your favorite mom friends group on Facebook, you'll have direct access to her and also some of the other podcast guests that have been on and the other moms as well. So check into that. Brandy, you are incredible. Jeez, jeez. Um, wow. And so you talked about this a little bit. I met you, like I said, when we were at the Florida State Legislature
Hmm.
in Tallahassee, so much younger than I think I was probably 21, 22 when I met you. And you, like you said, you were bubbly. You have such a bubbly personality, so friendly, always smiling day to day. Um, what kept you smiling day to day? I mean, I know you mentioned it, but just kind of like elaborating on that, like what kept you motivated and going all the time back then?
Oh, back then, that was, let's see, pre-Donovan. That's my
Pre Donovan.
pre-Donovan
Donovan is
days.
her son, you guys. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I think from like what I said in the previous question, just that little bit of naivete, like just
Hmm.
life is beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah.
People, there's good in everybody.
Yeah. Yeah.
I just I've
Before you went
always
through.
I've always loved people, even people who don't like me, even the person that has harmed me the most in this world.
Mm.
He knows I still pray for him. You know,
Hmm.
I I truly believe that trying to, just in navigating my spirituality
Hmm.
and seeing how much God loves us.
Hmm.
And we just mess up so much. God, I'm not deserving of your love. Am I deserving of it? But he
Hmm.
loves me. I'm your father. He
Hmm.
will always love us. He will forgive us. And so if I don't need to try to convert anybody to Christianity or whatever your belief is, who you believe in and who you pray to. It's more than that. It's just the knowledge and seeing me miracles happen before my face, knowing that being able to trust in a higher power
Hmm.
and seeing how I've overcome certain things. I have
Hmm.
no choice but to smile about it. I have no choice
Yes.
but to be
Even
happy.
now you're smiling. Like
Yeah, yes,
even
because
as
I'm
you speak
so
about it.
grateful. I'm
Yeah.
so grateful. Wow. Even and this is something I've always kept through life. So even when I met you before Donovan, pre-Donovan,
Hmm.
to now having anything I've gone through, anything in life, there's a lesson to be learned.
Hmm.
And when I worked for the Department of Health, I'm one of the attorneys there. I needed his system to get. I was building up the system for the state for their
Wow.
the legal. I know the legal software,
Hmm.
and so I needed to get into all of their systems, their files, get their files because I was building up their templates and all that.
Hmm.
And he told one of them, I said, "What's your password? I need your password." And he said, "Free to fail," and some numbers and other things. And I said,
Hmm.
"Free to fail?" And he said, "Yes." He said, "You're always free to fail. Failure really is just like a mind state.
Yeah.
It's not anything tangible. You may feel disappointed, but there's always a lesson to be learned." And that was like, for someone who
Light
already was like
bulb. Yeah.
pretty positive person. I try to see the good in everything. Nobody
Hmm.
had ever approached failure to me that way.
Mm.
And so that was my first approach. And that was my first. Wow, Brandy, it's okay. It's actually
Hmm.
okay for things not to go the way you want them to go. And that was actually post Donovan.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that really that's what keeps me smiling because it's
Hmm.
just life. Everything has a lesson to be learned in it. Even if you didn't think it did, there's always a light at the end of the tunnel.
Hmm.
Wow, what are the positives that come out the negative?
Hmm.
So much, right?
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
get pretty pictures come from negatives. So
Yeah.
at least they
Yeah.
used
That's
to. Young
yeah, they
kids,
don't
I
do
don't know about now.
that. Not so much anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's back in the
I
day.
know. See, there's these things called cameras, and they
Right?
weren't on the phone.
Right? Yeah, they don't know. They don't know. Um,
So that's what keeps me just motivated and knowing that I definitely have support from God. I have support from my family, friends. My village is real.
yes. I love that.
Mm-hmm.
Your village is real. I love
Yep.
that. Yes. Um, surely, all of that is good to keep in mind when you're trying to stay positive. But fear sometimes creeps in, right?
Woo!
It creeps in and it hits you upside the head. So, in those moments when, you're having a tough time, life gets in the way, you're
Mm-hmm.
raising your son, how do you stay level headed? Because again, when fear creeps in, it's a mental state, and you
Yes.
can you can be positive and you can have successes, But when that creeps in, that can be a mental block. So what do you do? What is that tangible thing that you do to try to stop that fear from getting the best of you?
Well, in later years, I met a friend called anxiety.
Guilty.
And that's how fear started manifesting in my life. After Donovan, I don't even know if I would have anxiety attacks or anything before that him.
Yeah.
This was something in the past 5-6 years, I'd say, that started manifesting. Actually, yeah,
Mm.
about 5-6 years ago, when I realized I can't even go into Walmart anymore.
Wow.
Before COVID, and I was like, why can't I go to Walmart? Too many people, I was like, what is going on?
Oh,
I didn't know what I was experiencing.
yeah.
So sometimes it is debilitating.
Mm-hmm.
It can be very debilitating. I
Mm-hmm.
can't sit here and say, when I get fearful or start feeling anxiety or panicky, you know, I just think about the goodness of God, because sometimes I can't think about the goodness of God.
Yeah.
We can't,
It's just
sometimes
not getting
it
through.
literally, it's not coming through.
That's
So
real.
I have my people. Um,
Your
one of my best
village.
friends, and she's really like a sister, my sister Nevsky. I just depend on her. We've known each other for so long, since college.
Mm-hmm.
She knows I can just call her and I could be and she
Panicking
just,
and just release. Yeah.
yeah, and she's got, that her background's in psychology, and so she's the first
Mm.
person that ever introduced me to the world of, maybe you need therapy.
Yeah, I mean,
Or
nowadays
therapeutic
it's
tactics. Yeah.
yeah, it's important to get that for
Hmm.
sure. To
Absolutely.
work through life. We talked about this off camera a little bit with regards to that, and it's like a taboo subject with people from, like generations before us,
Yeah.
where it's like, you know, don't talk about your problems,
Hmm.
like zip it, like it's okay, just go through the trenches on your own. And it's just like, no, let's
Hmm.
talk about it. If of course, you don't want to talk about something that makes you uncomfortable and damages you, and makes you close up even more because now you feel shame and all that.
Right.
But I do think that it is healthy to talk about some of these taboo subjects that kind of plague us as
Yeah.
moms, and especially single moms, where you don't have that you know husband or boyfriend or whatever to lean
Right.
on. So yeah, that
Right.
I think is important, like getting therapy or having, kind of like that friend that you can lean on and say, "Hey, I'm having a tough day today. I
Hmm.
can we talk? Can you come over or something?" Just to have them to lean on.
Oh,
So,
absolutely. Absolutely. To go back on that, there were, for the first several years of my son's life, I always said, I never want my son to see me cry. I would never wanted
oh,
him to see me cry, because I overcompensated all the time. And I still do sometimes, with the mom guilt of having to be a single parent,
mm,
because he knows his dad. He loves his
yeah,
dad very much. And
mm,
so then to have him in his vicinity and in his world, and then suddenly for him, he kind of just disappeared a few years ago on him.
oh,
Then I
wow,
started trying to overcompensate, like over love, overshare, overbuy,
yeah,
over this, over that, and I got to be strong, because I don't want him to know that I'm human.
oh man, wow,
um, so that eventually just did me in too, and I had to
mm,
be like, no,
you
no,
gotta check
I
yourself.
can't.
Because you know what? I feel like they love you for you, and not not like, oh my gosh, okay, I gotta do more. Just the mere fact that you're mom and you're always there. I feel like for them, and I'm no therapist, but I feel
Right.
like for them that in and of itself is enough.
Yeah.
You don't have to try to play mom and dad, or it's just being there for them is enough.
Hmm.
But I
Yeah.
can't even imagine what that's like, going through that and feeling like you have to
Girl.
overcompensate. Burnout, right?
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
it's like a
Absolutely.
burnout for you. So wow, wow. I'm sure a lot of single moms can watch this and relate and be like, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
no, I definitely went through that. I
Yeah.
definitely felt that guilt. Oh man, wow.
Yep.
Um, uh, Turning to school. I mean, you
Mm-hmm.
certainly
Ha
done a lot
ha.
of that, right? But let's talk about because you went to law school. So going to law school with your son, Donovan, how was that? How was that?
Woo. I just have to say, my parents are my parents. We had come up with a plan because Donovan was a year old.
Mm,
He had just turned 2 the month before school started,
mm,
and yeah, he was still a year when we moved to Orlando.
mhm,
I was going to Florida A&M University College of Law,
mhm,
FAMU
mhm,
Law, and my mom was like, "Okay, so that you can get back into the swing of things, you don't have to worry. You got this baby. We'll take Donovan your
mhm.
first year, and so
Wow.
you can really focus." And I was like, "Okay."
Wow.
So
Wow.
my parents came and got him
Mhm.
right before school started, and he
Wow.
was in South Carolina.
Wow.
But that did not last the entire school year.
I was gonna say, how did that go?
It went well. I mean, I was still paying for daycare. I was sending
Mhm.
money, I was sending money home to my
Yeah.
parents to pay for stuff. It was
Mhm.
hard on them. There was like a super culture shock on my parents because
I bet.
he was still, he was fresh new, so he was still in diapers.
Yeah. I mean,
I
that's an
mean,
active, they're getting ready to get really, really active around that age.
oh yeah, oh yeah, and so,
Oh.
so it's just a culture shock. And my mom was like, "It's too much. I didn't know. I just." I was like, "It's
Mm.
okay. I'll
Wow.
come and get him. It's okay. I'll come
Wow.
back and
Yeah,
get
no,
him."
okay. So you went
Yeah,
and got him
yeah. So Christmas
during
break,
first 1L, during your first year of law
one else.
school.
Christmas break, I went and went home for Christmas break, and then brought him back.
Mm-hmm.
And before I left, I had got him situated, got at the school he was going to be going to.
Yeah.
Um, and people I knew back in Tallahassee had referred me to a lady who lived in Tallahassee and opened a school and daycare over in
Mm-hmm.
Orlando. So I had gotten him situated
Mm-hmm.
and just ready to go get into the swing of things. And
Yeah.
so I did that. Um, whew.
Yeah.
So at first, going from having all the hours to myself and being able to really focus and study, thank God I
Mm-hmm.
did super well
Mm-hmm.
that first semester. The
Mm-hmm.
second semester I didn't do bad at all either. I did well. But
Mm-hmm.
I just remember that spring semester was potty training time. and, I, and I was just so
Oh my
tired.
goodness.
I remember
Wow.
uh research legal writing research and writing. And we
What?
had the brief, the legal brief to work on.
Yeah, I know that brief.
Oh, and oral arguments.
Yep.
And I just remember trying to focus so hard and always having he would pee. I have to go change his diaper.
Oh
Poop.
no.
Gotta go change his diaper. So then I
Mm-mm.
was like, we're gonna potty train because I don't have time to change diapers anymore.
Well, okay. And how did that go?
Ooh, boy, it was actually. I just feel like from the womb, my child has always got me. He's always got me because it
Yeah.
wasn't that good at first, and then I just looked at him and was like, "Listen, we got to be on the same page." I
Yeah.
was like, "I am gonna put some underwear on you, and I'm gonna tap your butt if you pee on yourself." He peed one time, and I did toot 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 like that. He never peed again. He never peed on
Wow.
himself again after that. We
Wow.
got like it was my mom. That was just something that I was like, asking people, what should I do? How should I potty train? And that was piece of advice that was given to me.
Really?
Yeah, but it
Wow.
worked.
Potty
Like
training is work. Okay.
it is, but that
It
was within a
is.
week. It was within a week,
Wow.
and he was good. He used the bathroom
Wow.
after that. I had bought a toilet seat that fit
Yeah, to
him.
put on top of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
I was like, thank you, God. Like he just always got me. Whenever I needed him to really just focus,
It
I would
was
always
time.
even breastfeeding, like even with the breastfeeding, the way he was latching was
Yeah.
hurting me when he was first born. It was hurting and I was
Yeah.
bleeding and all this stuff.
Mm. Mm.
And I just remember taking a break and I was expressing milk that way because even the
Mm.
pump was making me bleed. So I was expressing and
Mm.
expressing into a bottle so that I wouldn't bleed. And
Mm.
I just remember looking at this little baby and I said, we're gonna try again. And I said,
Like you
you're
can
gonna latch, you're gonna
understand.
open your whole mouth and you're gonna, and he did it. And I
Oh,
breastfed for a year.
wow.
So I
Wow.
just felt like he definitely there's some sort of connection that he and I have where
Yeah.
he can always tell like, okay,
This is
I
do or
I
die.
need to help her.
Yeah.
And I'm just gonna do it. I always felt like that. I've just always felt
Yeah.
that we have this little
Connected.
connection.
Oh
Yeah.
my
So
gosh.
that was whew, that was
That was
that was the
rough.
biggest feat.
That's just the first year.
And that was just the first year.
Oh my gosh. So, but are you saying that preschool truly took the load off? Because surely you go to school during the day, but you still have to study, and there's a whole lot of studying, in in school, in law school especially.
I
So,
was a night student.
oh wow, okay.
Girl, let me tell you the schedule. During
Oh
the
wait, you
day,
were at night. Okay, let me.
I
Yeah.
worked. I worked during the day.
No. All
He
right.
went to school.
The
I
podcast
found
is
a
over.
thank you. There was a daycare on the other side of Orlando that closed at 9 o'clock. So I
What?
would, yep, 9 or 9:30. And
Wow.
so I would go get him from his school because we lived on the west side, like Pine Hills area.
Yeah.
I would I would get out of work, leave work, go to his school, get him, drive to the east side of Orlando,
Oh my
drop
gosh.
him off at that second daycare, and then go to class in the evening.
What?
Woo. And then come back to the east side, get him, go home on the west side. So I did that for that semester. And
Okay.
then after that, I switched him to that daycare full time.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so that he was just there all day.
He was just there all day.
Right.
That was the
Yeah.
way you were gonna get through it.
Yeah.
Wow.
It was too much
Wow.
driving.
Yeah. I mean, east side of Orlando, west side of Orlando.
I know. It's too much.
That's a lot. Wow, you but this is like the struggle of being a single mom, and so many single moms, they have that story about,
Mm-hmm.
whether it's they don't have a car, they gotta walk, and they gotta,
Yeah.
find jobs, and it's just incredible that you just have that, just single moms in general, but they
Mm-hmm.
have that drive, like, this is go time, right? This is how I'm going to
Right.
survive, and my child, I need to take care of my child and be there for my child. So
Yeah.
I'm going to do whatever it takes to get through
Mm-hmm.
this. It's an incredible drive. Like,
Yeah.
I'm blown away. Wow. And I didn't know daycare's open until that late. Wow.
There are some places, even in Tallahassee, where he went before we moved to Orlando. Stokes Family Daycare, she was 24 hours. So she would keep kids overnight for parents who worked at night.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you just gotta look up
You have to just
24-hour, daycares that open late. It may not be on your side of town.
Yeah, but you got to do what you got to do.
Yeah.
Because it's put you in a better place. So, okay. So we talked about the fact that it is chaotic. Kind of like going to school with your son or with your child as a single mom, but there are ways to actually make it work.
Yes.
It's just a little bit more work than the person who doesn't have a child or the person who does have a partner, So, but it can be done. Brandy's telling you can do it. No excuses.
Yes, you can do it.
Oh my gosh. The next question was going to be, were there tough nights? But you just explained it all. I mean,
yeah.
I think it's self-explanatory. I'm sure there were tough nights mothering
Yeah.
Donovan, bringing him home at night. How was his sleeping schedule when you brought him home? Because he was still very young at the time.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
How did that work? Did he go to sleep right away? Was he sleepy? Was he, fussy? Because you had to get back up and go to work apparently in the morning.
Right. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You
I
know?
don't remember.
Yeah. It's a days. It's a days.
I
It's just
don't
like
remember
I
what.
got through it. I got through it, and that's what matters.
Exactly. That's all that matters. We made it through.
Yeah.
But honestly, I could not have. Let me tell. This is why I know God is real, because my best friends, my
Mm-hmm.
study group, in law school, Nicole, Salta Woods, Shalom, Zach, mothers, single mothers.
Yeah.
We had just had very similar stories, very
Wow.
similar. It was just amazing how we came together.
Yeah.
Nicole's older than us. She had
Mm.
older kids. So
Mm.
there were times where when we were studying,
Yeah.
we would just go to Nicole's house. She was older. We would take
Yeah.
our kids. Um, her daughter was a teenager. Her daughter would babysit
Wow.
at night.
Wow.
She would know, Donovan, let's go to bed.
Yeah. You
We would
had your
just
study
go,
group.
we really, I'm telling you,
So
the
your
village aspect
your
was there.
study group was a group that consisted of single moms as well, you said?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Wow. That's incredible. I love hearing that story where you have single moms coming together, just
Mm-hmm.
moms in general coming
Yeah.
together, helping each other, because this world is not easy. Okay.
And people
And
don't get it.
they don't get it.
Yeah.
It's as much as I sit here to try to understand, I can only understand it through a secondary lens, through
Yeah.
listening to you and try to empathize. But not until you're in the situation do you truly
Mm-hmm.
understand the difficulty, the mental difficulty
Oh,
of
yeah.
getting through it, aside from the physical exhaustion of being a single mom.
Mm-hmm.
So if I had a hat, I'd be like, hats off to you,
Yeah.
because you are killing it. You're killing it. Just that story alone, we don't even need to get through years 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, because
Right.
that alone, wow. What do you say to single moms who cry at night because it's so hard and they feel like they're just not, something is stopping them from being their
Yeah.
best? What do you say to them?
Cry if you need to.
Mm.
Cry if you need to, but don't hold on to it, because you gotta figure it out. So seek. Sometimes it's just hard to look for what you don't know what that you need to look for. Like my son wasn't. We realized, oh, he's really not talking right. A lot of echolalia. Me not knowing, oh, he probably needs speech therapy. I need to get him tested for stuff. You don't know the questions to ask. And just start to talk to people. I think that we're in the best place, in, in terms of that type of stuff, depression, sadness, parenting, single parenting. You can find a group for everything nowadays.
Yes, it's so true.
So seeking help, actually looking for it,
Mm-hmm.
looking for help, not being too scared, not being too afraid to say, hey, I need something.
Yeah.
What did you do? What did y'all do? Could somebody help me figure out what you did? What did you do? How can I do this? This is my problem. This is what I'm feeling. Is there any way out of it? Being able to just, throw pride aside, because as a single parent, that pride is, sometimes you feel like it's all you got.
Yeah.
So I got to keep it strong for my family.
Mm-hmm.
But sometimes you just got to throw it to the side and say, I'm drowning. I don't know what to do. I don't know what I need, but something's not right.
Yeah.
Somebody help. So that, cry when you need to. I still cry,
Yeah, I know I do.
I cry.
Yeah.
Well, that shower gets a running good on your face.
Yeah, just let it out.
Let it out.
It's not everything. Just let it go.
Let it out. Yep, let it out. And then say, phew, all right, I needed that. Reset, push the reset button, and go talk to people. that's just the best thing that I could have ever done was just to open my mouth and say, I'm I'm experiencing this.
Yeah.
Can somebody, people know, you got Shalom, my friend Shalom,
Mm-hmm.
who I went to law school with. Well, her dad, her family runs a church. Well, we have a
Mm-hmm.
church member who does this. We got people, people know
Yeah.
people. Your
Yeah.
network is so
Mm-hmm.
important. And there's a network that you have around you that you would never know you have if you
Mm-hmm.
don't open your mouth.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
when your body hurts, your arms hurting, your wrists hurting,
Mm-hmm.
something not right because I shouldn't know that I have a wrist, right?
Yeah.
I shouldn't know
Yeah.
that I even have a foot. It just should be working. But when
Right.
it's hurting and it's not working, you're gonna say something ain't right. I need to go
Yeah.
get it fixed.
Mm-hmm.
So when something in your life isn't working, just because it's not as tangible, you can't go put it on an MRI or X-ray
Yeah.
machine. Um, but recognizing, okay, something's not right. You gotta go. You gotta just say it to somebody. You
Mm-hmm.
know what? Oh yeah, I had a friend who, I had a friend who their child was going through the same thing. Let me see what they did. You just never know.
Mm-hmm.
But
Mm-hmm.
but you gotta say something.
Yeah, you gotta say something. Speak up.
Mm-hmm.
That's so profound and true. And I love that you're like, let it out. You're not necessarily saying, "Oh no, go find help right away." It's let it out. Don't hold that all in. That could, I don't know therapy, but that could kill you
I think
potentially.
so.
Like if you hold all that in, what stress does to your body. I know when
Mm-hmm.
I get overly stressed, I start to feel like, aches and I'm young.
Right.
I'm still young. I start to feel aches and pains, and I'm like, wait, okay, breathe. But at the same time, it's okay to cry, but don't
Yes.
get so, I think, consumed in it. Like you said, cry it out, let it out, and go talk to somebody, go get help,
Mm-hmm.
you know. And Brandy, you're the perfect person. At least, of course, professional help, but you are such a great resource for moms that have been in your
Mm-hmm.
situation. And it's not, just being a single mom, but going through domestic violence,
Mm-hmm.
experiencing the cycle of violence and
Yeah.
what that looks like. That's mentally tolling. And then on top of that, of course, with your son and his struggles, of course, with we haven't spoken about it much, but with the autism and all of that.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why it's so important to get to know your network,
Yes.
because there are people out there that can help you.
Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Oh my goodness. This has just been an amazing, incredible interview. And I had, a fun question in there, but I just feel like it's just been so much more beyond anything superficial. And we like to have fun, like I said, on this
Yeah, of
podcast.
course.
But man, I feel like I've learned so much
Mm-hmm.
and from you. And it's just been these are words that needed to be said.
Yeah.
And you mentioned that your item, which was part of our fun questions, was that you'd want to have as a microphone, because
Mm-hmm.
and who knows why that was the first thing that came to you. But what I do know is that people need to hear your story. They need to, because it is such an inspiring story. And yeah, again, single moms out there listening to this, I know if I'm touched, you got to be touched. And don't be afraid to reach out. Do not be afraid to reach out. So,
Yeah.
um, if you had to look back at old Brandy and tell her, give her a word of advice, what would that
Whew,
advice be?
good Lord. Now this one might make me cry.
Oh, well, you know what? I got some paper. I'm going to get ready. If you're going to cry, I'm definitely crying. Mm.
Looking back at myself, I would say trust your process, trust the process, and trust yourself.
Oh, wow.
Trust the process
Mm-hmm.
and trust yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Trust yourself through the process.
Mm-hmm.
You're not gonna hurt yourself.
Yeah.
So whatever decisions you think is best for you are best for you. Trust yourself. Make the decision, sit in the decision, lay on top of the decision, trust that you will see you through.
Yeah. Oh, you just
Yeah.
got some chills. You are so real. You have kept it so real. Believe in yourself. Believing in yourself. That's exactly what it's about. And again, like I feel like I am not, it's real. Like I am not, I am honored to be able to speak to you in this way because I don't feel like I'm qualified, if you will, to truly like get into what it's truly like and to relate to you and your journey. It's hard. Um but all I can do is to try to help to heal,
Yeah.
single moms who go through this, and to hear your journey is just, I don't know. It gives me goosebumps. I'm like already singing. I'm trying to hold it back. Oh Lord.
Hold it in. I'm trying to hold this one tear. It's trying to come out.
Yeah.
Let me wipe it up.
I just know that, yeah, a lot of single moms, they've been through a lot, and I know a lot of single moms. Mm-hmm. And some personal to me. And I just know that single moms tend to bottle in what they go through. And sometimes even like those who are watching this and they're their like friends or kids or whatever, stepping outside of your role, looking past that mask that these moms put up, especially single moms, and just piercing, it's a legal term, but piercing that veil and just looking through to see like who they really are, for their inner strength, and say it's okay.
Yep.
It's okay. Like you don't have to be so strong. I see you. So I can't tell you how happy I am to have had you on this podcast. I know my tone is kind of like somber, but I'm moved, to say the least. I am moved. Brandy, if moms want to reach out to you, where can they find you?
I am on Facebook. It's just Brandy Durham. You'll have to find my picture, BrandyDurham, on Instagram at Love Me Brandy, LUVME Brandy, because I love.
Yes. Yes.
Love everybody. And I mean, maybe I have a Twitter. I'm not really on there.
Yeah.
But that's Bran BRAN_D as Brandy's World.
Brandy's World. I love it.
Yeah. And if you would feel, want to be entertained, we're on TikTok, my son and I.
That's the one. Are you kidding me? Okay, so I'm gonna have to find you. What is your TikTok?
I have no idea. It's probably just my name.
Okay, yeah, I'm gonna go TikTok stalk you. Are you kidding?
Yeah, go find me. We
that
have
is
fun
so
on TikTok.
Fun. Yes. Oh man, I love it. Well, this has just been an amazing episode, amazing interview regarding single motherhood, navigating it. It's a touchy subject, and it's a sensitive topic for so many. Yeah. But Brandy, as I expected, you navigated it with such grace, and you're just so well spoken and strong. And I continue, after so many years, sorry about my voice being so nasal. Okay. I continue to be blown away by you and by your strength. Like, you are an amazing mom, and I really, really wholeheartedly appreciate you coming on.
Thank you.
Yes, hearts coming on to YFMF, your favorite mom friends podcast. And for those moms out there, you heard where you can find Brandy, and don't be afraid to reach out. You can also find her under your favorite mom friends Facebook group, so feel free to reach out there. And thank you so much for watching. Thank you, Brandy, for being on, and
No,
until
thank
next time.
you. Bye.
Bye.